So crazy. Stay. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey there, baby. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I am doing well. It has been a long day already, but happy Tuesday to everyone. First Tuesday of November, which means we only have a few weeks left in this craziness we call 2025. I want to welcome you to Getting to After. My name is Chatone Morganne. This podcast is to remind midlife women that healing doesn't have a shelf life, no age limit. You can consistently build confidence. It's not reserved for the chosen few. I am Chatone Morganne. I am your host of this wonderful podcast, and I get to do it with one of my best girls over there. I'm known as a princess of positivity because I believe that you can release your negativity so your positive can reign in your brain, in your business, and your big, beautiful life. I'm a core energy and confidence coach. I am also an EFT concierge practitioner, and I love helping women with their self-talk. Absolutely love it. And I really believe that when you focus on what matters most, everything just soars. And let me just, because I need to make sure you understand who I'm with, okay? I need you to know who I'm with. Morgan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. I'm Morgan Bustos, your companion in transformation. I'm also an EFT practitioner and a woman who knows what it means to rebuild her life after trauma. I personally like to help women remember their strength when they've been through the kind of season that makes you kind of forget who you are. So, everybody, welcome to Getting to After.
Together, we help you find calm and courage and your comeback. And we do that one conversation, one tapping session at a time. We believe in emotional freedom technique, which is why both of us do it. And today we're going to go a little bit into ways of using tiny bits of tapping in order to help you jumpstart your day or your week. Morgan, we just finished this month on domestic violence awareness, breaking through silence. We're always happy when it's done, but we're also really happy to get it done.
Mhm. It's interesting the feelings, the mixed emotions about this. Ending our second season of Breaking Through Silence is really impressive. To know how many people we've been able to help is really heartwarming, also. And as a survivor, I personally want to thank everybody for watching, asking the questions, messaging us privately, and sharing the podcast with us, and for all of your support. So, one other thing I want to thank you guys for is helping with all the empowerment essential kits. We got to bless a lot of people with that this month. So thank you so much. The personal self care kits that Chatone and I are creating for the women in the shelters, they're getting them for free, as you know, through your donations. So we appreciate your support. And even though October is over, the crisis still does remain. So we want to remember that. So if you'd like to purchase one of our kits or donate towards a kit, you can visit us at the page on our website. It's bit.ly/G2A dash EE, and they're all caps.
Didn't you like how you said that on our website? So let me
Right.
just shout out the website real quick in case for some reason you missed last week. But if you did miss last week, go back. Go back. I mean,
It was
last week tore
that
us
was
up trying
good.
to get that content done. But it was so good because we were doing role playing and teaching how to resist this urge to be dishonest because you feel uncomfortable with the truth, and how your nervous system is able to realign when you decide to say the thing you need to say at the time you need to say it, but doing so in a self-protective and non-judgmental way, and without getting angry with
Right.
other people. And so it was really a good episode. So you can go to our new website. It's gettingtoafter.com. And it's going to be all the ways that you can find us. So we have lots of
Mhm.
links, of course, but everything, our magazine, our podcast, everything, any way to contact us, you can get through our website. We're so excited to finally get it completely done and to announce it to you. So all ways to get in contact with us, you can do it through our website. You see that smile on her face?
I know, right?
It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. Yeah, but I mean, October was such a challenge for both of us, and we worked our tails off to get everything to you. It was
Mhm.
tough, but it's worth it, and that's what Getting to After is all about. I mean, it's now officially November though, and the year's
Yeah.
going to start kind of quieting down a little bit, or either racing toward the end in 2026. And
Yeah.
our whole goal today is to remind you that you can end well. And so our theme for today is going to be 8 ways to end well. We're talking about 2025 because we basically have 8 or so weeks till the end of the year. And because it's Tuesday, this is the first Tuesday in November, we basically have these 8 weeks to get something to happen. You know, Morgan, it's interesting because um, I have always loved looking at how women can kind of refill their energy to get
Mm.
themselves started for the year and doing that before the end of the year. This is not a thing that's about pressure at all. This is about peace.
So that's so true because I remember on your other podcast that you had, you always made sure to warm everybody up to get them ready for the new year. So I really love how with this one, we can't wait to share this episode with you too. So instead of the 60-day challenge, a 60-day pre reset, right? I love it. And it's what we need because
Yeah.
sometimes all at once is really, really overwhelming and hard.
Yeah, yeah, like 90 days, 60 days. You know what? We always have 60 days, no matter when it is. It doesn't matter when it ends. So you have 60 days from now to the end of the year. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this in terms of weeks, and it's going to be very gentle. So what I did was I put together things that we already know. These are things that maybe you've neglected the past couple of months and you want to kind of get back on your game before things get out of hand. What I love about this is a way for you to kind of follow each week. Maybe pick one thing if you can handle two and you want to kind of use them in conjunction. You'll see as we go through the list that you'll be able to do that as well. The whole thing is this is not about rules. You know, this is
Mm.
not 60-day hard. You know, I know y'all say that. 60-day hard. Who, who's signing up for that?
Mhm.
Okay,
Nope.
getting to after, we're about soft.
Soft,
We're about softness, okay? We're not gonna give
gentle.
you 60 days hard. That doesn't feel good. We've already been through that, okay?
Mm,
This is about 8 weeks of softness so that you can
mm.
end the year not just strong, but also ready.
Mhm. We've done a lot of episodes up to this point, right? But nothing like this one, and it's really important that you know why this is so important.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, Morgan? For me, one of the reasons why this is important and why I decided to do it this way, usually I do an episode like this, like on my Sunday Corner, I would do an episode like this somewhere around the end of October, or the
Mhm.
beginning of October, actually. I used to do it at the beginning of October because I say, okay, you have 6 months till Q2. And I know that a lot of people kind of barely get through Q1. They start off with a bang with goals and resolutions and whatever, and then it peters out. But I always like to look at who do you want to be in the next 6 months. So we're starting a little bit late because October was important for us to dedicate to domestic violence awareness. But it was interesting. I was looking for natural hairstyles. Clearly, I need them on Pinterest the other day. And I was bombarded with lists of 30-day challenges and 60-day challenges. And they were very complicated and hard and restrictive. Like, like those diets we used to have to go on with grapefruit and eggs and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, this is not, there's no joy. Like, where's the
right.
joy at? And in
Where's the flavor?
2025, I think we need some joy. And we want you to know that even though we kind of, we brought the energy down a little bit last month because we were talking about very serious and very important
Mhm.
things. We want to, it's like, is this the best that we can do for midlife women? Give them 60-day hard, give them like restrictive rules, make it so that they feel like, oh, that's the only way that I can do better now. I said, let's make it better. And then boom, that's what we're doing.
So I have 8 ways, but how exactly does it work?
So there's 8 ways to end 2025 well, and the goal is steadiness, self-care, and reflection. And
Mm,
while I'm suggesting we keep it simple with that kind of framework of write and release. For those of you who have been listening to me for a while, you know I believe in writing, reflecting, and releasing. And what we're going to be recommending is that you write. You could also use a recorder. You can use text to voice, something like that, to kind of reflect through these elements of your life. And again, there's no rules. It's not rigid. But what happens when you actually go pen to paper? Show them a journal, Morgan. You got a journal
oh,
there?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, when you do something like this and you get in that journal, let me show mine. Don't think I don't have one. Hers is pink, mine is
Look at
white.
you.
Right.
Oh, I love
And
you.
you can get them
Yeah.
on our website. Make sure you understand you can get them on our website. All right. And the resource page. And what happens is when you're doing that, you start to recognize things start to come out when you allow yourself a few minutes to free write. So I
Mm,
do love doing writing. I do love doing that at the kind of beginning of the week, maybe spending 15 minutes and figuring out what do you need to release, what do you need
mhm,
to reflect on. You start to notice little patterns as you reflect on what is coming up for you. We did an episode. Remember when we did a journaling episode where we actually
Oh, yeah.
showcased write and release? And
Yeah.
as a teaser, um, we're going to have more on write and release. I'm actually in the process. Do not ask me when, but these are the things that wake me up in the middle of the night, and I'm just like, "Ooh, that's a good idea." I jot it down and quickly go back to sleep. A write and release workshop
Mm.
that is just on the sideboard, but a way to teach you how to really do this in a framework that you can continue. This is like little micro mini moments. Listen, micro mini moments. That's hard to say. 15 minutes at the start of your week to write down and reflect. You know, we're silly this morning. We're so excited that it's November. Okay. And you can notice what's really kind of coming up for you, notice what's no longer needed, and how to make little subtle changes where you see fit.
That's not hard at all, and it could be a great way for you to find out new things on what you need to tap on. So, are we gonna get started on this or what?
We're getting started. We're gonna do this. All right. So
Started.
first of all, as I was creating this list, and I sprung it on Morgan last night. I was like, Morgan, here's a list. This is what we're gonna talk about, right? Um, we're each gonna take kind of turns talking about some of these things. Similar to last week, we're gonna show you a little side of the hand tapping that you can do to kind of set yourself up. Again, part of the reason why we do this is to get the nervous system kind of ready that something's about to change right here. And when you
Mm,
do any kind of reset or any kind of time where you're kind of going through where you want to see some changes, doing a little tapping is always a good idea. So the
mhm.
first one is nourishment, nourishing your body. So what does that mean? Most people, when they think of nourishment, they automatically, okay, here we go. She's going to tell us what to eat and what we can't eat. She just talked about grapefruit and egg, but now she's going to, no, not
Yeah.
talking about that. I'm talking about the nourishment that maybe you haven't been giving yourself, right? So,
Mm,
real food, real fuel. It's not a diet conversation. It's really more of a listening practice. So, the question you might ask yourself that you may want to journal on, and again, another question might come up for you. The question might be, what does my body actually need today?
mm,
Sometimes it's soup. Sometimes it might be some. See, some is food and some may not be. One of the things that when you're doing a practice like this is to notice not just how you eat and not just what you eat, but literally, am I sitting down? Am I standing up? Do I typically do this like chewing slowly and really nourishing, allowing the food to nourish me, enjoying it? Or am I always
mm.
distracted? Am I always doing TV, watching TV? Am I always looking at social? Can I not eat unless I'm scrolling? You know, plug your phone in before you eat and you'll know what happened. "Ugh, I can't do it until my phone's in my hand, right?
Right.
Um, are you always alone? Do you feel that you have to cover up with your eating? Do you find yourself needing to hide what you're eating? And this again has nothing to do with your size, your shape, your weight, your body composition.
Mm,
This happens to women in midlife and all ages at all different shapes, sizes, and body compositions. Again, 8 ways to end well. What would it feel like for you if you start to truly respect what your body needs? Now,
mm.
Morgan in a second is going to talk about the next step in this, but just talking about us taking in food. I mean, how does that hit you, Morgan? When you hear that question, what does my body actually need today? How does that sit for you when you ask yourself a question like that?
When you said that, I immediately went to how I feel after I eat something. Do I feel bloated? Do I feel fatigued? Do I feel rejuvenated? Do I feel energetic? What kind of emotion comes from that also?
Yeah.
Because you can literally be like eating something, and as you're eating it, you feel like your arteries clogging, or you feel like your blood pressure rising, or
Yeah.
you just feel lethargic.
Yep.
So making sure that you're eating things that are going to boost you up and really invigorate your body
Yeah.
is good for you.
And I think too, that's a physical. That's the on the more on the physical side, but there's
Hmm.
also the psychological side. There's
Mm,
foods that you eat that are so nourishing, and they don't necessarily be like sweet potatoes, or I say sweet potatoes because I love sweet potatoes, but like they have that mashed potatoes and gravy type of thing that's comfort food.
mm,
But they can be other comfort foods for you. Does this food feel comforting for my body? Is it doing something for me? So we want you to just use a week, maybe a
mm.
couple of days in a week, and think about that. Take 15 minutes and journal on that. And then you may want to try one of these tapping transformations. Now, Morgan, I've given us lots of tapping transformation setup phrases to work from today. You can pick as many as you like. I'm going to pick two here, and it sounds like this. Even though I haven't always listened to what my body truly needs, I'm open to hearing it now. Even though a part of me still links food to comfort or control, I choose to nourish myself with care, with respect, and presence.
Mm.
So you could do that kind of tapping, okay, and you will really notice a difference and then do your journaling. And this is how, again, this first step to ending the year well. Our second one is intentional rest. And I think this is one that we do talk about quite a lot because as midlife women, it's one of the things that we lose rest. And I think too that it's something where when you are going through midlife situations, perimenopause, etc., the body's going through all this stuff, and it feels like rest is the one thing we're not going to get. But one of the things that it's important as we kind of move into these last 8 weeks is looking at the framework of how we're living our lives and think about this idea that rest does not equal weakness. It's actually wisdom. Our bodies, I mean, it's the way we're created. Okay. So are we better than the creator? I'm not even going to go there. All right. Rest is maintenance. It's maintenance. Now, I'm not going to get into what maintenance looks like. I think maintenance looks like a kind of extra kind of things, like getting your feet done, even if that's you. Okay. I'm just saying, okay, that's maintenance. All right. But it's not a reward. So when you rest a lot, you don't get a reward for that. And you also don't get penalized for it either. You don't have to apologize for it. And like we talked last week about communication, you may need to reframe this conversation about what rest looks like. So what would it look like for you to take maybe a whole day or maybe just an hour where you intentionally did nothing productive on purpose? Just nothing. I mean, nothing. Okay. I don't care what you're doing. Let your body lead. If you have to stare at the ceiling, or you be outside and you just decide to, if it's warm enough, it's not warm enough here. Lay outside and look at the stars, or go for a walk with your puppy and just look up. Whatever that looks like, whatever rest looks like for you, why don't you try embracing that for the next, at some point during the next 8 weeks? But now, when it comes to your journaling practice, ask yourself this question. We're going to ask this question. Why have I allowed myself to ignore my need for extra rest? You spend some minutes journaling on that. What have I accomplished and what have I lost? Typically speaking, when I'm not getting as much rest as I need, it's because I'm in the middle of a big project. As I just said before, we were working on the website. Girlfriend ain't been getting a lot of rest. Okay. I've been doing a lot of projects all at one time. And so I've been getting less rest than usual. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be amping up my rest intentionally to be authentic for you guys, but also because my body is clamoring for it. And she's not going to take no. She said, I know you're going to listen. You're going to listen here. So see how stillness recalibrates your system. Remember, again, we're talking about our nervous system. Here's a tapping you may want to use again on the karate chop point. Even though I've learned to rest only after everything is done, I'm willing to rest even if my life is still messy. It's a tough one. That's a tough one. Even though I've been running on empty for way too long, I honor my body's wisdom and allow myself to pause. Notice the languaging: allow, permission. So many times we don't allow that. It is an act of love. It's absolutely, and it's one of the ways that you can end 2025 well. Okay, so now we've gotten our nourishment in, we're resting, we're trying to like get that flow together. Literally, I could tell people you were in Texas on a ranch. Like, are you for real right now? Like, what in the entire universe?
It's fine. Mm.
All right, y'all. So you know what? It's clear that Morgan's little puppy is not going to allow us to continue to do video for you. So we're going to drop on off to audio.
Can you see him on the back?
Zion, is that what you wanted? You wanted mama's blanket? Is that what you wanted? Is that what you've been crying for? Do y'all understand that we are doing a podcast with an animal that sounds like a bull moose? Now, I know you're not trying to act like a puppy right now. Look at this one, trying to get all small, head bigger than mine. Oh, Morgan. I mean, we're trying to do this distance thing and life is lifing this morning. Life is lifing. So I'm thinking I wanted to give Zion his day
Right.
since he clearly wants to be a part of the pod. That's how important y'all are to us. We're trying to get you the content. We're trying to get
Yeah.
the goodies to you. And Zion said no today. So we're going to have to take a different tack. We will get you the rest of the information now. So stay tuned. Morgan, you back?
I'm back, baby.
It's funny. I told you we're going to have 8 ways to end well. And I'm realizing I may need to add number 9. And we'll make number 9 number 1. And we're going to call this pivoting. Because sometimes we wait to pivot until everything has fallen to rock bottom. And I don't know, when the dog sounds like a bull moose, that might be rock bottom. I don't know.
That was hilarious. It sounded like I was living back in Meeker again.
Like, what in the whole world? So guys, I'm so sorry. I know you want to see us. I mean, who wouldn't want to see us? But we are tenacious and we are not giving up on giving you this great content. And this one might be controversial. I'm talking about doing one splurge-worthy act of care or self-care. Now, this does not have to cost a lot of money. Just because I say splurge-worthy, I'm going to say that 10 times fast, Morgan. It's hard.
Spurs ready.
I'm not talking about something that has to cost a lot of money. Sometimes we think of the word splurge, especially as in midlife, and it means something that's expensive, and it doesn't mean that. It could be you have something that you only use on special occasions. It could be a fragrance. It can be a lotion or something that maybe was that you kind of use on date night. Okay, you're worthy of the date, right? So use that. Maybe you can schedule a massage, or if money is tight and that's not going to work for you, then ask a trustworthy friend or a family member who has good hands to just put their hands on that shoulder. Okay, like they can put their hands on that shoulder and light the good candle. Like the candle is one of those ones that we forget about. Some people don't like candles. I don't know who they are. All right, lighting a good candle, that big fat one that has 3, 4 wicks in it, light that. Remembering that it doesn't have to be money, it could be time. And just remembering that you're deserving of pleasure and ease. Here's the question. What have I been missing that would feel good to my body and my nervous system right now? What has stood in the place of me doing this? It's very interesting because sometimes we wait. You push it way off. So when you're journaling, think about, let that kind of come up to your senses. What has stood in the place of me doing this? Is it me just always telling myself no? Is it me saying that I have to take care of somebody else? Or if there is an extra $5 in the pot, I've got to do something for my kids, my husband, my mom, and I never kind of come up to the level where me being the splurge is important. We want you to think about that. I know, Morgan, one of the things that you have is you have your weighted soft blankets. And for someone else, having a weighted blanket or having a really soft thing with them would be a splurge for them. And for you, that's everyday self-care.
That's what I
Just
need to feel safe. Yeah, absolutely. We even had that on our podcast last year. I want to say it was like in November, the series we did in November about making sure that you shouldn't feel embarrassed if you need to make exceptions for your sanity and for your peace of mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, doing small things like setting a timer just to pet your dog. If you're rushing that, now look, my dog's not allowing that. Like he's going to get his pets in. But it's these things that we sometimes have to just allow ourselves that care. Whatever that is for you, it could be warmth, it could be softness, it could be scent. Just remind yourself that you're worthy of great company. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your own good company. It's a splurge-worthy act of self-care. Now, I don't have a tapping for this one, but we're going to go on and Morgan's going to give you number 4.
Awesome. Okay, so this one is really, really simple. Try one new thing. Okay, so it can be something as simple as a new hairstyle, new exercise, a new route to school, a new recipe, a new workout, whatever you want to do, just try something new. And then the thing is to pause and notice the change and enjoy it. So, like, for example, right now it's getting really cool in North Carolina. And so I've been using some of those really awesome recipes that we had in our fall magazine for
They're
getting to
so
after.
good.
Dude. Oh, yeah. They are so good. So, by the way, did you get it? If you guys didn't get it,
Tell them
you,
about it, Morgan. Tell them about the magazine.
oh, baby, it is so amazing. So, you have to grab it. It's at bit.ly/G2A dash fall 25, all caps, and you will absolutely love all of the fall inspired food ideas. It's wonderful. So, our next journaling moment, ask yourself, what's one small thing I have secretly wanted to try? Not because it's impressive, but because it would make me feel more alive.
Yeah, that's a
So,
great question, Morgan, because I don't think that um, when we try new things, a lot of times it's from pressure. It's
right?
kind of like peer pressure with somebody else, or you're scrolling through these all these apps, and they're telling you do this, do that. If you want this, you have to. It's a lot
Mhm.
of external information, a lot
Yeah.
of external impetus instead of internal. So I love that idea of what do I secretly wanted to try, and I'll
Mm.
add it's legal. I'm gonna add legal.
Yes. All right, let's try these setup statements on the side of your hand. Even though new things make me hesitate or second guess myself,
Even though new things make me hesitate or second guess myself,
I'm open to curiosity.
I'm open to curiosity.
Even though I've spent years playing it safe,
Even though I've spent years playing it safe,
I give myself permission to explore,
I give myself permission to explore,
experiment,
experiment,
and enjoy new things.
and enjoy new things.
Mm,
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
that feels so good already.
Yeah, didn't it feel good?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna let you know a little later on today what I'm gonna try. I'll
Okay.
let you know today what I'm trying. Because it's cold here in Maryland too, let me tell you.
Oh, I bet.
It's definitely time for a little some soup recipes or something. All right.
Ooh. That
Okay, so I'm going to take the next two, Morgan. These next two things to me kind of speak to each other. They naturally kind of happen, especially number five, naturally kind of rolls up and happens sometimes toward the end of the year. Who can you reconnect with? Someone who's important to you, someone maybe you've drifted away from. And we want you to journal in this way. So you're going to ask yourself, who have I been missing in my life and who have I drifted away from? And kind of let different names float up. Think about who those people
mm,
are. It may be someone that you really like, oh my goodness, it's been such a long time. Why does this matter toward the end of the year? It doesn't, it could be at any time. But one thing that does happen is a lot of times we are seeing people that we haven't seen in a while. Now, this was a key in my Fat and Happy book. If you don't have that yet, make sure you go on our website in the resources page and you can get a copy of our My Fat and Happy book. And there's a key in that book, one of the chapters, it talks about, not just reconnecting, but who needs you and who do you need in your life right now? And spend some time writing on that. You may want to just reach out to one person that really matter or write them a short note, a voice memo. It doesn't have to be some grand note that you're giving them, but just connection that's real. And I have to also mention, Morgan, too, that it's a great time at the end of the year, I believe, this is my belief, to try and make amends where possible because
mm,
not bringing in old garbage into the next year is good. All right, so let me jump into the next one because I do believe these are interconnected. And the next one really has to do with this idea of November. Okay, so, a lot of people highlight the no in November and they talk about things they want to say no to. Well, no is an important word. You know how I feel about it. It's a full sentence. And
mhm,
no many times has to do with that really bad B word, boundaries. All right. And so when we start talking about who we're going to connect back to or reconnect to, you want to make sure you're doing that in a safe way. The most powerful boundary is one quiet no, saying no, pulling back from someone that isn't safe. When you're doing your journaling on who you want to reconnect to, you want to be asking yourself those questions. Why did I pull away from this person? Was there a reason for that? If you've
Mm.
pulled away from an activity, why? I mean, just let the questions float up to yourself so that you can see if I'm going to go back for that, is it going to be safe for me? One thing we know for sure is that our no is one of the most powerful things we have. We don't want to overuse it because then we may end up pushing people away from us, but it's really, really important. So here's our question. Here's our journaling moment. Who or what am I continuing to say yes to that keeps me from living in alignment with who I want to become?
Mm.
And it's the reason why, again, you can see how I hear you chuckling, right? It's so important to think about. And again, we're talking about these little solitary moments, 15 minutes. Think about it. We don't give ourselves time to slow down enough to allow these kind of deeper things to kind of float up in our mind, but it's really important. Also remembering that if you do meet up with someone this month, next month, and your red flag comes all over you, understand that the red flag could either be from trauma or it could really be from that person being unsafe. Trauma doesn't necessarily, because you're in trauma, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is a red flag. It could be something else that's triggered in you. But if
Mm.
you're trying to end the year well, it could still mean that you need to protect yourself in different ways, even if that person themselves is not a red flag, if they raise a red flag in you. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more and giving you some tools and some strategies for to know when is a person really triggering you because it's them, or when are they triggering because it's you. And we're going
Yeah.
to have some somatic exercises going probably in the next month or so of how you can get through that. Okay. I want to just say this one thing because I was thinking about this the other day, Morgan, about your computer. You know, we've been having a lot of computer problems, okay? Think about your computer. One of the
Oh.
first things that happens when you have a bandwidth issue is if you ever had to call tech support, I'm sorry. But if you've ever called and they may ask you things like, well, how many things are open? How many windows are open?
Mhm.
Right? The first thing they're going to ask you is close everything down. And especially before you add something new, like maybe you're going to put in a new program or something like that, you're going to download something, it's going to ask you, shut everything down first, close all the windows. So
Mm.
think about the need for your computer to have its best bandwidth. Sometimes you have to close things off. That means no. Well, our emotional bandwidth is no different. Sometimes we got to close some of the doors, close the windows, shut down some of the programming, shut down other voices so that we have the emotional bandwidth that we need.
I was just thinking that's an amazing illustration. I'm gonna have to use that on my kids, man. That's good.
It's true.
Oh.
It's really true though. And our kids, our teenagers, in our young 20s, they really need that one because
Mm.
sometimes this Gen Z, with the need for everyone to be on their location services, for everyone to know where everyone is at every single moment of the day, you know, they don't even realize that they are draining themselves of their emotional bandwidth. They're draining their emotional energy. Everything's a 10, and then
Mm.
everyone's got to be involved, and everything's a group chat. We will not digress right now because we're talking about 8 ways to end well. Okay. But it's something we're going to go back for. All right, let's get into this topic real quick, Morgan. All
All
right, here
right.
we go. Even though some relationships have shifted,
Even though some relationships have shifted,
and I'm not sure who belongs where in my life,
and I'm not sure who belongs where in my life,
I'm open to honest connection,
I'm open to honest connection.
the kind that feels mutual and safe.
Mm. The kind that feels mutual and safe.
Even though saying no can feel uncomfortable,
Even though saying no can feel uncomfortable,
I'm learning that every no creates room for a deeper yes.
I'm learning that every no creates room for a deeper yes.
Yes. The yes to myself,
The yes to myself,
the yes to my peace,
the yes to my peace,
and the yes to the people that are most important.
and the yes to the people who are most important to me.
All right, take a deep breath after that one. Y'all make sure y'all do that tapping. Make sure, because this is one that every single one of us needs. There's someone in your life that you're missing, and there's someone in your life you probably need to release. Just saying. Journal on it and figure out who that is.
And especially at this time of year, it's really a hard choice and feelings that weigh on you because you feel like you're supposed to be with these people, you're supposed to be at these events, you're supposed to be doing these things, but yet there's a part of you that hesitates because you're like, it drains me, or you
Yeah,
don't feel invigorated after you're there, that kind of thing. So this is a really good exercise for us to use right now.
yeah, yeah. And I think it aligns so much with the last 4 weeks we've been talking about with survivors. I mean, obviously, if you get out of a domestic violence situation, well, I shouldn't say obviously, because it takes many women many times before they actually physically get out of it. I think the statistics some over 7 times before they
Hmm.
actually leave. And in your case, that happened as well. But I think sometimes it's the people who I would call DV adjacent. It is maybe your abuser's brother, mother, sometimes other people that knew but didn't help, people that
Hmm.
ignored it and gaslit you to make you feel that it wasn't real. These are people that you may need to say no to because they're
Hmm.
not safe either. So it's not just the people who might have put their hands on you, or gas or the people who verbally abused you. It could be the people who stood by and watched it happen. And so if you missed our series, Overcoming Silence, Breaking Through, make sure you pop back into the playlist on YouTube because we have around 4 or 5 great episodes from October that you may not want to miss, and you may need to share with somebody else.
Hmm.
All right,
That's a
go, Morgan.
Okay. So speaking about that, giving generously from what we have is another point. This one ties into our Getting to After magazine, donating from your closet to a women's shelter or purchasing an empowerment essential kit are ways that you can give to a woman in need. Also, generosity is grounding. It reminds you that there's always something that you can give. And we have to remember too, even at our lowest points, um, it doesn't have to be something monetary. It can be our time. It can be our energy. It just depends on what you have. I know personally that's what I had to do. So many times I didn't have the finances to help with things, but I always had my love to give and my hands, to be able to use
Absolutely.
to help people.
Yeah.
So your journaling question for yourself is, what do I have tangible or emotional that could lighten someone else's load without depleting my own? That point right there is crucial because so many
Without,
times, yes,
yeah,
yes, because so many times as women, we do that. We constantly give and give and give and pour out of our own cup when we're not really in the place to do so. So
yeah,
that's really important without it depleting your own. So the point is if it doesn't work for you anymore, just go ahead and let it go. If it becomes too heavy for you, let it lighten your load so you can feel lighter and also feel the freedom from it because it's an emotional release.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay. So our tapping on this one, if you'd like to follow along with me, even though part of me still feels guilty when I keep something for myself,
Even though part of me still feels guilty when I keep something for myself,
I'm open to giving from overflow, not exhaustion.
I'm open to giving from overflow, not exhaustion.
Mm. Even though I can't help everyone,
Even though I can't help everyone,
I can share what I do have.
I can share what I do have.
Love, time, kindness, and that's enough.
Love, time, kindness, and that's enough.
Mm,
Wow, that's a big shift for so many people. And
yeah.
I think that even if you have the financial means, um, if it doesn't feel like something you want to do, it can still be weighty for you. So I
Mhm.
love this idea of looking to see how you can give, but not feeling this huge obligation. And I think that sometimes we're giving out of a deficit. That's not good. Like, that does
Right.
not work with us at all, to giving out of a deficit. So I love that, which kind of speaks into our last one. And remember, guys, we're going to put all these in the description box below so you'll have them. Again, we're looking at one of these, one a week. You can look at 15 minutes of journaling, see what floats up, and then writing down. If you don't have a tapping journal yet, you can grab one on our website. But one of the things that's nice is actually seeing what floats up. What things do you need to work on? What's triggering you? What are you feeling in your
Mm,
heart? What are you feeling in your stomach? What flutterings do you feel? What kind of gives you a pain in your head? Those are the things you want to
Right.
tap on because these are giving you some indications of the things you need to release. So number 8 is making peace with your money. We had a couple weeks ago, again, in our Breaking Through Silence episodes in the series for domestic violence about money. And what was interesting about that particular one, Morgan, I feel, is that even though we had a DV focus last month, this is something that women in general, we don't like to talk about money. It's private. We feel funny. We weren't taught, the majority of us this age were not taught to value it the same way. And I think one of the best things I've ever heard is that money is energy.
Mm,
And it's like, well, what does that mean? Well, you expend energy and you spend money. It's the same thing. It's currency. You have emotional currency, you have physical currency, as in money. And so
yes.
it's how things move and it's needed. So how do you make peace with it? So one of the things that I think happens, especially towards the end of the year, and this is with companies all the way to big businesses, there's a lot of hustle that's going on. I used to work for a sales organization and it was a nightmare. I'm thinking,
Mm,
I don't celebrate holidays, but all of these people did, and yet on New Year's Eve, they were all in the office. And there was big parties going on. They were bringing in food and trying to bribe them to be there, but they wanted to be at home with their families. But
mm,
there's a hustle that's happening at the end of the year. So this is not trying to engage you in hustle mentality. It's not saying that you should spend more or spend less. It's just being aware and being intentional. And you're able to start to make peace with your money by being aware and intentional. So, again, go back to our episode from a couple weeks ago. We gave some great tips. There's actually a download you can get that gives you some ideas. Again, that is a focus for DV, but really any woman can use that. And
mhm,
one of the things we've talked about doing is looking at your spending, look at your saving, give yourself the honesty to really say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going out. This is what's coming in. It's not about shame. And it's not about silence either. It's about being aware. So here's the question you're going to ask yourself. What feels aligned and what feels anxious when it comes to your money? So if you're saving, 50% of your salary every week, that may make you anxious. It may make the bank look good. The bank's going to love
mm,
you. But if you're scuffling because you're worried about saving, you may need to recalibrate that. Also, what would it look like for me to let my money reflect what truly matters to me?
mm,
And that's another one of those tricky ones because what really matters to you? Going back and figuring what that means. If for me, and Morgan knows this very well, a good
mhm.
massage really matters to me. I have a
Yeah.
lot of joint issues. Do I prioritize that all the time? No, I don't. But I do try and mingle it in because it matters. If I get a little bit of extra money on top of the times when I regularly go, which is not that many times a year, that really matters to me. So the way that I use this currency, this energy is going to be toward taking care of myself. Not because I'm selfish, but because I use my body and my mind, this body that I have, to serve so many other people. Why
Mm,
wouldn't I want to take care of it? So I
yeah.
don't know if you're seeing that familiar theme here. Everything we've been talking about is not like these self-care moments. Yes, we told you to get away the blanket and we told you to, light a candle. But we're talking about ways to really care for yourself in ways that you feel you feel well. And that's
Mm,
the goal, to end the year feeling well.
mm,
So, one thing you have to think about is that money will always be a source of stress if you allow it to be. When you
mm,
decide it's no longer going to be a role, it's no longer going to take on a role of stress, but instead it's going to be a tool for steadiness, things start to happen, things start to
mm,
change. All right, so here's one strong affirmation. And you can just we're not going to tap on this one, but just think about this one. I use my money with calm and clarity. Every choice is a reflection of peace, not pressure. I'll say that one again. I use my money with calm and clarity. Every choice is a reflection of peace, not pressure.
mm.
And I think it would be nice if you additionally journal the last time that you purchased something, how did you feel afterwards?
Huh.
Was it like when you ate like a greasy burger afterwards? Tastes really good on the plate, and then you're like feeling it's repeating already on your little heartburn?
Mm,
Sometimes that's what we do. And so, as a side point, this is just what I do. If you like, I gotta have it, bring it home. Like say it's a new jacket, a new pair of pants. Bring it home. Don't remove the tag. Hang it up someplace where you can see it. Don't wear it. Wait a week. Do you still feel as passionate about it? If you don't, return it. I'm not talking about influencers, Morgan, that put your own tag and say take a bunch of pictures of TikTok. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you don't feel that 100% passionate, yes, this is something that I need. I'm using my money with calm and clarity. If you're using your money with stress and trepidation, just hang it up for a week. Look at it for a week. Do I still feel the same way? If I didn't have this, would I be okay? Of course you would be. But I mean, really think about it. And if you can, let it go.
Mm, mm, mm. I love that idea.
Let me tell you something. It has saved
Oh,
me hundreds. It saved me probably thousands of dollars a year. Thousands.
oh my
So I
goodness.
don't always say no to myself right away. But what will happen is I wait because I don't want to go back at TJ Maxx and it's gone. I'm gonna have an attitude. All right. And we do that, right? You go back and you're sad.
Oh,
So
that's
rather
the
than
worst.
that, but you can take it home and use your patience.
Yeah.
Use I want to have calm and clarity around my money. Every choice is a reflection of peace, not pressure.
Mhm.
And think about that. And I've gotten to the point now where I can do this in the store. And I see women doing. We all do it. You put everything in the buggy that I just did with the buggy. I know you're from down south. The buggy, I mean the cart. And then you look at it, and then you see women doing it, and then they taking
Take
stuff back
out.
up and pile everything in. You
Mhm.
can do that for real. And it's very, very helpful to help you save money, but also
Mhm.
not to have that pressure. So what do you think about that, Morgan? Like you ready to start hanging stuff up and returning it?
Returning it. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna let you work on that. That'll be your one for the week. We're gonna let you work on that. It's just a suggestion. Just
Yes.
a suggestion. Well, what do you think about these 8 ways? Choosing one of these instead of making it, 60 days hard. What do you think about this?
Girl, this is amazing. And it's totally doable too, because it only takes like what, 15 minutes to set
Yeah,
yourself up for 2026 so that you can get ahead of the game.
yeah,
I absolutely love a good journaling moment, right? You know
yes,
this about me. But
yes.
the tapping affirmations at the end of it just added pure power, babe. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
I feel like we're creating the dream instead of chasing it. And I
Mm,
think resolutions mean sometimes we're chasing a dream and sometimes it's not even our own. And, looking at something for 15 minutes is something we absolutely can do. I mean, one thing that I love about my book, Fat and Happy, and again, it's not a plug for my book, but this is one of the reasons why I wrote it, was this idea of how do you take time for yourself, focus attention and take time, which is what fat means. How do
mm,
I take that time to rebuild myself? How do I do it? If you can't find 15 minutes a week, we need to meet because you got another issue. Okay. There's got to be 15 minutes that you can find. So
yeah.
ask yourself the questions, do the tappings, come back to this recording. I know it's weird. I know you saw us and you didn't. I know. But the information was definitely worth it.
All right, guys, definitely circle back to us and let us know how your 8 ways are coming along. And remember that reaching out to us for a session is always available at bit.ly/chat-tap. We'd love to hear from you. Chatone and I have so many good things in store for 2026. But first, we'll end it well right here along with you.
We sure will. And I'll tell you what, Morgan, I decided I wanted to get on a bandwagon because last month you were giving the lovely love notes. And I said, I wanted to give an extended love note today to everyone. Okay. So we gave love notes every single week last month for our survivors. But all of us, if we're able to get to the end of 2025,
Mm,
we're all survivors.
yeah,
Because this year has been a bear for so many people we work with, so many people we meet. It's just been a tough one. It's been a tough one for me, Morgan. I know it's been a tough one for you too.
yeah.
So here's a love note. You can just kind of listen to this, let it flow up over you. You can ground while you're doing this if you want to. You can also tap while you're doing this. You don't have to repeat it, but just let it float up and just hear the words and let them settle you. Take a slow breath right where you are. You've made it through so much this year. Maybe with grace, maybe with grit, probably both. Now the invitation is simple. Don't rush to finish, just choose to end well. These last weeks aren't about catching up. They're not about proving anything. They're about tending to what's real. Your body, your peace, your joy, your yes, your intentional no. Nourish yourself and feed yourself well. Rest like you mean it. Take the nap. Try something new, from something in your car to a recipe. Reconnect where it's safe and release where it's dangerous. Give with love, not with exhaustion. And write your way through it all, one truth, one reflection, one release at a time. This is not a countdown, it's a coming home. You don't have to do it perfectly, just be present. Let's take another deep breath in, unclench your shoulders. Know this, you're not behind, you're becoming. And that right there, that's how you end well. So listen, guys, we're here every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Eastern. I am Chatone Morganne. I'm the Princess of Positivity. I want to remind you to go to our brand new website. It is firegettingtoafter.com. Also, our fall magazine is in full swing. It is a $10 purchase, but you'll be able to get full use of everything we have in there, and know that the proceeds to our magazine are going back to help women in shelters. We are very adamant on, even though Domestic Violence Month is over, we're always going to be giving and supporting in that way. And this is one of the ways that you help a woman get a self-care kit for herself and also her children. This is not a holiday movement. This is all year long. So go to bit.ly/G2A-fall25, all caps, and you'll be able to grab your magazine for $10, or if you want to get the subscription for the whole year, 4 issues, only $20. I know you can put it together, right? Knowing it for someone else, knowing it's going to help. We have put it together with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And when I tell you tears, I mean tears. Okay, because we wanted it to be good for you. We want the women to benefit, but we want you to benefit too. And as Morgan was talking about some of them recipes, they're good. All right, so you don't want to miss those either. Morgan, you got any final words for us?
Please, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, and then we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next time. We hope you can see us too. We'll see what happens. All right, peace, guys.
Bye. Mwah.